Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Off the Hook Live. I'm Ted, your host. Going live this afternoon, we're going to talk about some mock scrapes. Just want to get your opinions and get your questions and answers about the mock scrapes. It's a hot topic right now in the hunting world. Everybody's doing it. I don't know if it's peer pressure or what, but everybody seems to be doing mock scrapes. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the mock scrapes and what you guys are thinking, how important they are to your hunting success. Let's talk about the the locations, the reasons why we do it. A bunch of there's a bunch of ways to do one. Not any one is the total correct way to do it. So hey Bruce, what's up, buddy? Hey Mom, thanks for coming in. Just doing a live before work today. I just got done cutting the grass. Pappy, or hey, what's up, hunting and stuff? Thank you. My dad's scent came in from Jinx Some Scents. Let me grab it real quick, show you guys. This is how the Jinx Some Scents comes packaged, guys. He's got the triple pack. He's got the Mystic, the Misfortune, Bewitched, and Ecstasy. These are basically all you need for a successful hunt, for a successful mock scrape. So I'm going to put this back in the fridge right now. This is the synthetic. So this is, it only has to be refrigerated. You don't have to refrigerate. What's up, Kevin? Thank you for coming in. But we're going to put it, well, I don't need to put it in the fridge right now. I'll keep it out in case somebody wants to take a look at it. So the importance of mock scrapes, what do they do in the deer woods? How do they help? How do they hurt? Location, how to do it. There's a bunch of different things. Everybody's doing mock scrapes. It's a pretty hot topic right now in the hunting world. Everybody's doing a mock scrape their way. There's no one right way to do it. Everybody has their little spin on mock scrapes. I know I have my own spin, and I do it just for my deer, where I've seen deer react to my mock scrapes and what I did wrong and what I did better, and what works for me might not work for you. I'm not a professional. I don't think you are either, but we can always grow and learn from each other. That's why the whole thing here. Theo and Dawn Nicole, do you wipe or let it crust? My nose, when it runs, I let it crust up. When my nose runs, I let my nose crust up, because I like to pick it off and fling it. That's what I like to do. Thanks for your answer. Thanks for being here. Hope you're having a great day. So let's talk. Does anybody have any questions about the mock scrapes? And we'll start with questions first, and then we'll get into, and I will tell you a little bit about, I got my mock scrape video coming out. So I would advise everybody who wants to know how I do my mock scrapes and why I do the things that I do. We're just going to go into a little detail today. We're going to be doing this for about an hour or so. So sit back, relax, grab a drink, grab some lunch. If you're on your lunch break at work, join me for your lunch hour. And let's talk mock scrapes. Hunting season's here. It's really close. I'm getting the itch. The weather's getting nice. It's cooling down a little bit. It's giving you that itch. Before, to tell you the truth, I didn't have the itch because it was 98 degrees out, and I wasn't walking in the woods in 98 degrees with the bugs and the ticks and everything. So it's starting to cool down now. I'm going down to Ohio tomorrow morning, and then I'm going to get some stuff done down there with my buddy Bob. And then we're going to go, I'm going to meet my dad down at our camp, and we're going to do some work down there. He's going to put water to food plots. I'm going to do a food plot update on what's going on. I heard that it's popping. We haven't had much rain, but the moisture of the dew now is getting cold at night, so hopefully. Hello, I'm from Montana. Hey, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. Melody, Heathen Wilson, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. My hunting season opens tomorrow morning. Oh, I'd be fired up, Bruce, if I were you. I would be fired up. What message is held for review? Frieza Kings. Yeah, buddy, you gotta hide that one. You gotta hide that one. Bird season just started on the 1st. Okay. Yeah, I used to do, Melody, I used to do some small game hunting like the birds, pheasants, and grouse. Down at my camper used to be a ton of grouse when I was little. And we'd go around and we would get scared out of our minds when the grouse would fly over the strip mines and stuff. They'd be on the hillsides and they'd scare the heck out of us. I never shot a grouse, believe it or not. Shot pheasants, but I never could hit a grouse. And I never shot a grouse. Thanks, hunting and stuff. I appreciate that. Just block that dude or whatever. He's an idiot. Let's see. It was hidden. Okay, cool. So, yeah, so I'm going down to Ohio Saturday morning, tomorrow morning. And then I am going to meet my dad at the food plots. And he's got to, I think he's going to put up his scrape. Because the Jinx Some Sense came in. This is how it comes packaged. Misfortune, Bewitched, Ecstasy, and the Mystic. Awesome packs right here. This is what you need for hunting season. You can also get the dabs. You can also get the licking branch scent and stuff like that from them. But as you can see, I am on the pro staff for Jinx Some, so I'm always promoting Jinx Some Scents. Great, great, great scent. Great company. Great people. Great. It's a great company to be a part of. Let me put it that way. They are really, really great people, and they care about everybody in their, their pro staff and their company and stuff like that. So Sean and Dawn, awesome people. So yeah, so I just got this in the mail this morning. So that's the synthetic. It'll just go in the fridge. I already made my mock scrape. My mock scrape video will be coming out this Wednesday. So Friday, we got what, 5 days for my mock scrape video to come out. I'm fired up. I'm going to shoot my bow again later and make sure I'm ready. Awesome, Bruce. Hey, Bruce, I don't know if you know, if you got cameras out, if anybody doesn't know this, I am running a contest on my community page, and it is a deer trail cam contest. It's free to enter. All you got to do is email me. The deer heads are diabolical. Yeah, there's a lot of deer heads here. I love it. I love hunting. But, so I am running the deer trail cam pictures. It can be doe, it can be bucks. Me and the kids are going to pick the 2 best out of all the entries. We only have 2 entries right now. We have Josh and we have Zach. We have one from Maryland and I believe one from Michigan or Missouri. We are running it until September 30th. It's a free contest. You just got to go over to the community page, check it out, email me your deer cam pictures, and we are picking 2 people to win your choice of a short sleeve or long sleeve Off the Hook Outdoors camo shirt. So all you got to do is send me your deer cam pictures, and we will go through them, and me and the kids are going to pick. Is there a brand of ears you recommend for a 9-month-old? Brand of ears you recommend for a 9-month-old? I don't know what you mean, Melanie. I trust them all. I trust them all. But Melody, I don't know what you mean. I don't know if you maybe spell check or whatever. I have to see if I can get some pictures. Okay. Okay. Nah, 213 facts. I don't lie. I don't need to lie. I trust all mine. Maybe you don't trust yours, but anyway. So running that, Melody, I don't know what you meant by that. Is there a brand of ears you recommend for a 9-month-old? I have no idea what that means. No idea what that means. Hey, Twilight Tapestries, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. So the contest runs to September 30th. It's free to enter. Email me at tedpolanowskijr@gmail.com. Just send me your deer pictures, your best ones that you want me to see, and then me and the kids are going to go through them all, and we're going to pick 2 people out of everybody that entered. We're going to pick 2 people with the best pick that we like the pictures the most, and you get a choice between a long sleeve or a short sleeve camo Off the Hook shirt. So, free to enter. Go over to the community page, check it out, and send me your pics, and it goes all the way up until the day of the 30th. So you have all day on September 30th. And that it ends at midnight on September 30th. So, All right, so let's get into, and hunting and stuff's in here. I want to hear his opinion on some on these scrapes, and everybody's doing scrapes and mock scrapes. Like I said, my video is coming out Wednesday on my mock scrape video, and I only use Jinx Some Sense. I found out to be the best scent for me. It works really good. I've had great success in it. Ohio buck, I shot my biggest buck last year over it. Larry, what's up, Larry? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. But yeah, mock scrapes is the topic today. Now, I will be doing a more in-depth, actually like podcast style live stream with probably City Sticker Chris and probably the owner themselves, Dawn and Sean from Jinx Some Sense. We're going to get everybody on here. We're going to talk mock scrapes a little in-depth. And we may even do a... Sorry, I apologize for calling you a liar. I have law enforcement in my family and both tell me all the scandalous that goes on behind the scenes. Yeah, 213. It really doesn't... That don't bother me. So we're going to get into more in-depth on the mock scrapes, but I just wanted to go live today, a little up close and personal with the, the vertical style to get out there and let you guys know, what's going on and I want to talk about the mock scrapes with you guys. I want to talk about how you guys do that. What do you think about them? Do they help you? Did you ever have success with them? And how do you do them? How do you make your mock scrapes? But I do encourage you guys to go over and check out my video coming out on Wednesday. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe. Turn your notifications to all so you could be notified whenever we upload new content and do giveaways. These are the ones you were using the vine for. What hunting and stuff? Jinx Some Sense or like this stuff? The Mystic is the vine scent. The Mystic is the pre-orbital, buddy. The Ecstasy is this extra supercharged estrus from the doe. The Bewitched is the estrus doe, and the Misfortune is the dominant buck. That's the scents right here. The mock scrapes. Yeah, the Jinx Some Sense is what I do my mock scrapes with. Yes, that's the only scent I use now is the mock scrape, is the Jinx Some Sense. I'm on the pro staff, so I promote it and use it and show you the success that I have. I have a trail cam I have trail cam set up over my mock scrape that I made on Monday here by the house. So Sunday, I'm supposed to go and walk. The owner of the property that I hunt there, he just bought the property. And he was in the making, it was like a year in the making for him buying this. So I was allowed to post it last year. So I posted it for him. He's the one that does my shirts. He's the one that runs my my apparel store. So if anybody wants to go check out my apparel store, go over to my description and click on my Off the Hook store, and you can check it out and buy something that helps the channel. But yeah, Charlie over there at C3 Signs, he's the owner now of the new property. He's going to be moving his company over to there and also living on the grounds. So Sunday morning, we're going to go over and take a walk. I'm going to show him where my stand is and everything so he knows where I'm at and we're on the same page. And I'm going to probably pull my camera card on Sunday, and then I'm going to bring it home and I'll switch the cards out and I'm going to look it over. And I'll probably do a live showing you guys the, if there's anything on there that's worth anything. I'm going to, hey, L, hello from Ukraine. Thanks for coming in, Otto. Tell me you voted for Trump without saying you voted for Trump. I can just go like this, I guess. But I try not to do political stuff on here, guys. So keep the political comments to a minimum, please. This is no place for the political arguments and debates and all that stuff. I don't do the political stuff. I just go hunt, fish, deal with the family, and hang with them and have fun. And that's all I care about. So that's what's going to happen Sunday morning. Saturday, I'm going down to Ohio, and then I'm going to my camp. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff this weekend. Got a lot of stuff going on. Check your politics, the religion at the door. Yes, for sure. Religions and politics, like I don't care who you follow, who you pray to. We're all here. We're all having fun. And this is not the place for that. So I appreciate if you keep all the political comments and everything to a minimum. Please do not make any comments about politics in here. I appreciate it. But hunting and stuff, you have full control of the chat. If you see something that's inappropriate, please whack them if you have to. Just give them the old whack. But you have the full control of the chat there, buddy. So thank you for being here. So yeah, so that I got a lot of stuff planned. I'm really excited about hunting season. We have a nice 10-point. If you see on that, if you see the community page I posted, I have the contest on that 10-point. I'm hoping Theo or my dad gets a shot at that 10-point down camp this year. Subscribe and like, brother. Thank you, Gray Wolf. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much. Awesome. So, Gray Wolf, we are talking about mock scrapes today. I use Jinx 'em Sense. Obviously, I promote Jinx 'em Sense. I'm on the pro staff. Preorbital, Ecstasy is the supercharged estrus. Bewitched is estrus, and the Misfortune is the dominant buck. I encourage you to go over, check out the link, and check what's the biggest animal you could take down with a buck knife. What's the biggest animal I can take down with a buck knife? A squirrel. Yeah. Thanks. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you guys haven't hit that like button, please do so. We got 4 likes. I want to get as many likes in here so it pushes it out. So we're talking about, do they have a website? Do they have a website? Yes, they do, Bruce. Click the link in my description. It's Jinx 'em Sense. If you click the link in my description, you'll go right to their website. And if you use my code OFFTHEHOOKOUTDOORS, you could save money on your order. But go over, check it out, browse around, let them know I sent you over if you can. If you place an order, let them know you got it from Off the Hook Outdoors, and they will know if you use my code. You can save like 10% on your purchases. The only thing that the code doesn't work for is their apparel, because their apparel is print on demand, so they don't give you a discount on the apparel. But all the other stuff on there, they have seasoning, they have food plot seed, they have minerals, they have scent, they have clothing, they have hunting gear, they have broadheads, arrows, all that stuff over there. So go over, click the link in one of, not this description, go over to one of my descriptions. What, do you have something? Nope, I like buck knives. Oak Ridge, what's up, brother? Thank you for sending me your deer pictures. That's an awesome deer, man. I hope you get that crazy, non-typical looking buck, man. That's high, wide. That is awesome. I posted them on my community tab. So Josh, you're involved with you and another guy, Zach, sent me some pictures. So if you know friends, family, anybody that wants to send me deer cam pictures, you can be entered in a contest. It's free. All you got to do is email at tedpolanowskijr@gmail.com. So, all right. So let's get into the mock scrapes. So, what is the reason why we make mock scrapes? What is the reason why I make mock scrapes? I make mock scrapes at first, early season. This season, I didn't get out in July like I wanted to. I was so busy. So my first reason for an early mock scrape is to take inventory. And that's how you see what deer are in your area. Now, there is a little controversy with me, and I'll be bringing this up and going into depth more in our studio lives more. But deer change patterns throughout the summer, fall, winter, okay? So the mock scrapes, early mock scrapes doesn't mean you hunt the mock scrapes during hunting season, okay? And some people will say, oh no, they're getting hit hard. They're getting hit hard all season. You know what I mean? And the deer that are hitting the mock scrapes early in the season are curious. They may be trying to mark their territory a little bit, or they're just coming up to see who's there. Okay, that doesn't mean that buck's going to be in that area during hunting season. Okay, so placement of mock scrapes in early season may change, and I don't know. A lot of people, they will disagree with that because they're saying, oh, when I get deer coming into my mock scrape, I'm hunting over it. Well, the deer change patterns, from food patterns in the summer to late summer to early fall. They're on food. So if you do have scrapes that are on field edges, travel corridors to food and bedding, yes, the deer are going to hit that. But then they make that transition from food to mating season, and they change their whole pattern. So I like to put out the early mock scrapes, but there is a way to do it in early season if you are hunting over them during the hunting season. Now, I have a really good spot, and I'm going to explain this in my mock scrape that I do have down here by the house. It's in a travel corridor slash, now this isn't the big woods. This is urban hunting here. This is small wood lots leading into people's backyards, fields, baseball fields, there's streets, there's all kinds of different things involved with urban hunting. But I have a scrape right outside the bedding area in a travel corridor. There's not too much food in that area. They're basically going from bedding to feeding. And I believe if you find those spots in early season, the travel corridors where they're going from bedding to feeding, that your odds of having that scrape being hit all year are better. Okay. That's just my thing. Hey, Chris, what's up, buddy? All right, man. Just sit back and listen, Chris. That's cool. I appreciate you, buddy. Great supporter. Please hit that like button if you guys haven't hit that like button. So I find the bedding areas and the travel corridors where I put my mock scrapes out. So I don't have to change my mock scrape locations, because to me, in my little small area that I'm hunting here, it's totally different than Ohio and the big woods, okay? The deer are in that area. They're not leaving the area, so I like to see what deer are there. And I know there's deer in that area. That's why my mock scrapes are there. When you're in big woods, you have to find the deer. Like, you just can't make a mock scrape. You can't go into the big woods. Like, I can't go in Ohio, and I just can't walk in the woods and say, okay, I'm right here, and make a mock scrape and expect deer to be there. One of the most important things about a mock scrape is you have to have doe in the area, okay? And I always refer, Skippy, sitting in a tree stand isn't hunting, it's sitting. Well, it depends on what kind of hunting you're doing. If you're doing still hunting, if you're doing tree stand hunting, if you're doing, tree saddle hunting, if you're doing deer drives, there's a bunch of different ways to hunt, but you're still hunting. I disagree with you, Skippy, but thank you for being in here. So the big woods, spot and stalk's good too, yes, but it's hard to do with a bow. You can do it with a gun because you can whack them with a gun, but bow hunting is a little different with spot and stalk. So if you walk into the big woods and you just walk in the woods and you put a mock scrape down, your chances are you're not going to have too much activity. You may get a little bit of curiosity, deer coming in. You might get a picture or two of deer. But if the deer aren't using the area and there's no doe in the area, there is no reason for the mock scrape to be there. There's different mock scrapes. There's random mock scrapes. That's just a deer walking in the woods. Roy the e-biker. What's up, Roy? What's up, e-biker? I'm interested in the Pucky Puppy bikes, just so you know, Roy. I actually got on their affiliate program, but I called them to ask them, like, hey, can I do a review on a bike? Timothy Blackburn, what's up? Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you. So I'm trying to get on with Pucky Puppy and try to get one of their e-bikes so I could do a review on and use them. They have some awesome bikes. I don't know what kind of e-biker you are or what you use, but the Pucky Puppy is the ones that I'm interested in. So going back to the mock scrape, you just can't make a random mock scrape. You could get a few pictures, but it ain't going to be hit hard. They're not going to use it. It's probably going to go dormant fairly quickly. So one of the most important things that I recommend, and this isn't in stone, but you have to have a doe group in the area. You got to have doe bedding around. You got to have a reason. Thank you, Timothy. I appreciate you. You have to have a reason for that buck to be there at certain times. If there's no reason to be there, why would that buck scrape there, okay? And like I said, there's primary scrapes where a buck's territory, he wants a mate here. He wants you to come to this scrape. That's a primary scrape. Sometimes they get to be as big as a dining room table or a car hood. They are active primary scrapes, and that's in that deer's area, okay? or on the outside of doe bedding areas. That's the primary scrape as well. Random scrapes are when you're sitting in there in your tree stand and you're watching a deer walk through and he goes up and he hits a branch, a random branch, and he puts his antlers in it. He's leaving scent there and he makes 3 or 4 paws on the ground and then he walks away. He's probably never coming back to that scrape, okay? There's a lot of hunters out there that see that kind of stuff and they set up and waste so much time and energy on that one spot just from a random scrape. So it helps to know what kind of scrapes are in the woods, what kind of scrapes you're hunting. But primary scrapes are where you want to be. I like to find a primary scrape. If you can find a primary scrape, 10 or 20 yards away from it, make a mock scrape, because that's like you're intruding on his territory, and they do not like that, and you're going to get a lot of activity from that, because the deer scrape there for a reason. So if you put a scrape there, he's mad that you put a scrape, so you're intruding on him. So when you're putting your dominant buck sense in that, he gets kind of ticked off about that, and he'll come over and check it more often. But I relate deer to like humans. I really do. You know, and I'm going to tell you, and this is going to sound maybe too weird to you or crazy to you or whatever, but this is how I look at it. Okay, you're a young kid, you're 21, you're going out in the bar scene and you're hitting the bars and you're hanging out with your friends and you're out trying to check out the girls, okay? And you want to go where the girls are, correct? So if I go to a bar or restaurant or something and there's no girls in it, I'm not going there next week. I'm going to the bar where all the girls are and all the fun is, right? Well, a buck is the same way. He's not going to scrape in an area where there's no doe. He's going to go to the areas, find the highest concentrations of doe or find doe bedding areas, and he's going to frequent that spot, and he's going to scrape in that spot to attract the doe. And that's sort of what we do. We go out and we want to find a girlfriend, so we want to go looking for where the girls are, correct? You're not going to go to a spot where there's no girls hanging out and try to find a girlfriend. So that's what the bucks are doing. So the bucks need to go and they need to scrape and spend their time. The bar scene is a great way to put it. And I don't drink hunting and stuff. I don't drink at all. So I'm using the bar scene to try to relate to everybody who's out there drinking and having fun. But you know, the bucks want to be where the girls are during that time in hunting season, during the rut. So they're not going to scrape on a ridge that has no food, no reason for a deer to be there, where the woods are wide open, they can see a mile around. They're going to be putting it on edges in the woods, the bedding areas where it's really thick that comes out to a transition point, travel corridors, funnels. That's where you want to start your scraping. Just don't go in the woods and dump all your scent out in the woods and then you get mad, oh, this scent don't work. It's not the scent not working for you, it's the location that you picked. So you gotta watch where you're putting it. Yeah, I worried about the big buck I'm watching is about to move. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is you got the scrapes out now, and oh, there's a monster buck in here. Okay, yeah, it's awesome. He's coming to hit that scrape right now. As soon as that season turns and they make the transition, he may not be in that area. He may be a quarter mile down the road. So he will frequent that if there's a reason for him to be there. That's why I say it's very important to find the doe. And when you find the doe in your area, that's where you want to concentrate your scrapes. If you don't have doe in your area, there's no reason for a buck to scrape there. There's no reason for that deer to, if you're hunting that way. If you're hunting food, find the food. Put a scrape near the food. You know, if there's a consistent food all year, bean fields or whatever they're doing. If you're in Ohio and you have your corn piles and your bait piles, a mile away last year, yeah, so they move. But I have a scrape in Ohio that I put by my stand. I have my minerals and stuff out there, so I have the food. I have a scrape there. That deer last year didn't come to the food pile. He came to the scrape, he stayed there for about 30 seconds. He come out of the thicket. I watched him walk towards me. I couldn't make a move. If you watch the video, you'll see it. He comes out, he goes into the scrape, and he walks back into the thicket. And I'm like, he was just here. 30 seconds, that was it. He came out, checked that scrape, and gone. He walked down the hill, and then he came over to my minerals because there was a buck standing there. He wanted that buck out of that area. So he came into there, and that's where I harvested my buck, right about 20 yards away from my minerals where that doe, or where the 4-point was standing. And I shot that buck here. You can go watch the video if you don't believe me. Go over there, and you'll see him walking in. He made a rub. He was mad. It was a territorial thing. I'm in a nice little pocket with a thicket. I got a hill behind me. The deer travel down through there. It's by a dirt road. It's very, very weird looking because you wouldn't think deer would be in there, but they use it. It's a little opening. I put my food in there. I attract them. There's doe bedding areas around there. The doe are in the area. That's why the scrapes are working. So make sure location is key. Anybody can go out there and go spend your money on scent, go walk down in the woods, pick a spot, dump it in there. You may get some curiosity, get some deer here and there, but then it's going to be inactive. Make sure you are in an active spot where there's doe, because when come the hunting season, the rut, when the scrapes do matter, that's where you want to be. And you want to hunt. You don't want to put a scrape away from your hunting area because there's no reason for that. You're going to attract them to that scrape 50, 60, 70 yards away from you. Aren't big bucks territorial? I mean, as long as the does are around. Yes, bucks pick the best places to hang out. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you relate to a deer to a human again, okay? We all go to work every day, right? We all drive down a highway and we take an exit to go to work, okay? Or everybody has their favorite restaurant. But if you're hungry, you're driving down the road, you want to hit McDonald's. You don't have time to go sit at a restaurant, your favorite restaurant. So you make a left and you go eat McDonald's because you're hungry. That's the same thing with the deer. The deer has a preferred food source, but a deer will walk around. If you don't feel like going to that preferred food source, that's why I feed the wildlife. It's totally not bait. Well, that's good. If you're feeding the wildlife, that helps them for sure. But, you know, the deer, you're driving down a highway as a human, you're driving and you're hungry. Okay, oh, there's McDonald's, so I'm going to make the left. That's exactly what the deer do. The deer are walking through the woods. That's the highway, the travel corridor. And they have a preferred food, like that steakhouse that you really love. You love the French onion soup, you love the tomahawk steak, and you love the baked potato, okay? You like that restaurant. You don't go to that restaurant every day, but that is your preferred restaurant. So today, I'm hungry, but I'm going to hit Burger King. I'm going to hit Wendy's. I'm going to hit this. And that's what the deer do. They pull off, they eat, they go, and then they end up at their preferred food source eventually. So all that comes into play. My thing is, when I'm in the woods, you look at the travel corridors, and then you have your exits off the highway where your deer are going. And then you have a preferred food source where that highway leads to. That deer doesn't go straight from bedding to straight to the preferred food source. They're browsers. They go around the woods and they browse and they take their time and they usually hit that preferred food source, usually at dark, because they feel safe. So that's where you want to set your stand up off of that preferred food source, at least an hour of travel time away to try to catch that buck early. But scrapes, you have to put them in the right areas. You just don't go out there and randomly do it, because there are primary scrapes, there's mating scrapes, primary scrapes, there's secondary scrapes. Random scrapes are just that deer walking through the woods, doing buck things, and just scraping and walking. They almost look like turkey scratches. And you know the difference between a turkey scratch and a deer scratch. A deer have straight, they paw straight. A turkey scratches in a V. So if you ever see a V-shaped scratch mark, that's usually from a turkey, not a deer. So getting back to what you do in the mock scrape. So what I do is I like the vines. I like the overhanging branches, and I like vines. And recently, the last 2 or 3 years, I've been finding a vine in the area. I've been hanging it above my scrape in the area where I want it, right outside of the bedding area. And there's a path. If you look at my videos, you'll see a path that runs along the bedding area. They come out of the bedding area and they come up the hill, or they come down the hill, and they always seem to go to the edge because they are edge animals. So the thicket and the woods, that transition, I have my scrape right there, and there's a path going right up the side of that thicket. So I got that scrape right off the path. Now they have a path right to the scrape and along there. Okay. Well, I cut a vine. I use a rope to hang the vine. I don't wire tie anything with that, because when it gets cooled out, or the UV messes with the wire ties, the deer will break that vine off because they get a little aggressive with the vine. So what they do is they go up there and they'll rub their antlers in it, they'll push and pull on it, bite it, whatever they do. But that'll break that wire tie. So use a rope to hang your your vine. That gives a lot. You know, all they need to do is rub their face on that for their preorbitals and their forehead gland. That's all they need. They don't need like a big, like a horizontal rub where they're rubbing and pushing on a tree. They just want something to play with and mark their scent. So what I do is I hang the, and you'll see in the video, I have a vine hanging from last year. I spray the Mystic preorbital gland. This stuff is awesome, guys. I never had something work like this, okay? Gland scents are awesome. And a lot of people are going to argue with me. I am just not a deer pee in the air thing. Deer pee belongs on the ground. Pee on the ground, gland scents in the air. That's what I believe in, I trust, and it works for me. I'm not saying that the deer peeing on the licking branch won't work for you, but I don't believe in a deer peeing up in the air onto the branch. I just don't see how it can be done. I don't see how they do it. They don't do it. Now, they may lick themselves and get some scent on their face and rub it in the branches, but it's minimal. I don't dump pee on branches, okay? I just don't do it. I put gland scents on the branches. I don't kill the deer. I harvest them. Little M. Killing's kind of a harsh word in the hunting world. A lot of people use that word, but I don't. I harvest the animal because it is a season and you do get a license for it, so I harvest it. Almost like you're harvesting corn, but you harvest the deer. Same principle. Yep, thank you. Yep, thanks for the question, and I hope I answered it to your liking. But yeah, harvesting an animal is the correct word because they are out there and we are taking them, and harvest, I believe, is the correct word for an animal, not killing. So that's just my opinion. You see a lot of hunters out there in the videos and say, hey, I killed this animal. I don't like using that word. It's a harsh word in the world. So especially nowadays, I like to harvest the animal, just like you're harvesting your tomatoes, harvesting your corn, harvesting your peppers. I have a 300 Win Mag Dodge City kid. I have a 243. My son has a 350 Legend. 7mm 08, 6.5 Creedmoor, 30-06, 30-30, a bunch of them. Good morning. Hey, Boom family, friends, adventure, thank you for coming in. Please, guys, hit that like button. So I can't stress enough, location, location, location with your mock scrapes, and you have to have doe in the area. 243 is a great caliber. I have a 243, and I would use it tomorrow. I have no problems with the 243. I love using my 243 with a 100 grain ballistic tip. It does the job for sure. I have a 300 Win Mag for deer, elk, and bear. If I ever did the bear and elk hunting, I only went bear hunting a few times, but I never went elk hunting. But my dad gave me that gun, so it's a real special gun for me. So I do have it. I do use it when my son wants to use the 243. So I use my 300 Win Mag. My morning's been going pretty good. I got up, I cut the grass today. I got the clothes in the washer for my wife to fold them for. I don't fold clothes. I put them in a washer. I can put them in a dryer, but I do not fold clothes. My idea of folding clothes is folding them once, rolling them up, put them in a drawer. But my wife does them all nice, and they make it look all nice. Look how nice my shirt looks. No wrinkles. That's my wife's doing, not me. You'd see wrinkles all over me if I did my own clothes. So thanks to... I appreciate my wife doing that, or I'd have wrinkled clothes. So location, you got to have doe in the area for a mock scrape. And how I do that is I do the vine, okay? I get the vine hanging over the area. I scrape it. You'll see this all in the video coming out Wednesday, guys. And then I think I'm going to be working with Jinx Some Sense. I think I'm going to do a live making a mock scrape to show you how I do it. And Sean's going to be moderating it, the owner of Jinx Some Sense, him and Dawn. He may be making one himself, and I may be making one to show the differences of how we do each one. Yeah, fitted sheets I roll up too. Fitted sheets with the little crunchy ends on them for the corners. Yeah, I'm not folding them either. I put them together, I roll them up, and there go to my wife, and she can do what she wants with them. So we may be doing a live with the mock scrape. So what I do is I get the vine, And this is all in the video, guys. So I encourage you guys, if you're interested in the mock scrapes, go over and watch the video on Wednesday. So I hang the vine's hanging there. Mine's been hanging there for the last 2 years. It gets hit all the time. So I haven't been in there really by the house. I'm a little behind down in Ohio, so I am going to go down there Saturday. I am going to make a mock scrape this Saturday. It's never too late to make them, but I know the deer are in the area. So for me, you know, all these hunters are saying, oh, you got to scout, and you got to put them out. But if you're hunting the same areas every year, you know the deer patterns. The deer, if the deer move and you don't have deer in your area, of course you got to go search for them. Or you want to go search for that right buck or something. Ohio's big woods. You never know what's going to come out. We have deer on our lease. I can't go off the lease and hunt. I mean, I can hunt public down there. We have public there too. But I stay on our lease. I know where the deer travel. So I have an area where my bait, my minerals, and everything have been all year. I hunt that area. I really don't. I have 2 stands. I have one up on a hill, one down low. That's my setup in Ohio. Simple, easy. I know where the deer are. I attract the deer to the area with the minerals and stuff all year in the spring. And then I hunt it during hunting season. I put the scrapes up there to attract the bucks, maybe catch the wind of a cruising buck around to come in. That's what I do. A lot of people are saying, oh, you got to go out and change mock scrapes every year. Hunters do that. The people that hunt and are traveling and are going to different states every year, they're finding new land. They're trying to find a certain buck. They're walking around. They're putting scrapes out. I put my scrapes in the same areas just about every year, especially the one here because I'm hunting small wood lots. So the deer are only going to be concentrated, and that's the difference between urban and big woods hunting. The deer are concentrated a little more. Opens November 9th. Mine's October 4th here for archery season. So I'm going to spend probably most of October trying to get my dad or my son on that 10-point down in my camp. And I'll be hunting around here. I don't hunt down at my camp too much. Salute, old man. Hey, what's up, Kevin? So, what I will do is hunt around my house, and then my expectations or my deer. I mean, I will shoot a nice deer in PA, but I have higher standards. My standards are different in PA as Ohio. Now Ohio has the EHD coming out. We're gonna be doing a live on EHD as well. EHD and drought. That's what we're gonna be doing with probably Chris, City Sticker Chris. So Ohio is different hunting than PA for me. My camp is usually, I set up the food plots. I do all that for my dad and my son to see deer and to harvest the deer down there. We had a lot of years down there where there wasn't hardly any deer down there. We were seeing little small 4 points, maybe a 6 point, maybe an 8 point. You got an 8 point, you were shooting it. But the standards were very low. Yes. The chronic waste disease, EHD, all that stuff is hitting Ohio and it's creeping up to our county. So I'm very, very wary about that. I know guys that have 1,100 acres down there that the EHD ruined their hunting lease. I talked to him the other day. I was getting my oil changed. I seen him at the garage. I started talking to him, and he said he has not seen a buck that he would lift his bow off of his bow hook to shoot at. So 1,100 acres demolished by EHD down there, and he said he might even have damaged until next year. So, you know, hey Tyrone, thanks for coming in. Now, we don't try to do any political stuff, Tyrone, so thanks for coming in, driving and listening. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Bob. Thanks for coming in. So, Ohio is totally different hunting, you know, but I'm on a lease. I know where the deer are. I go there every year. I put my scrapes up. I have my minerals. I have my cameras. I hunt the same 2 stands in my lease. Bedding, feeding. That's as simple as that. You get a lot of people out there saying scout, 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 and I get that. You're out there, you're scouting. But if you're hunting the same land every year, you know where your deer are traveling, know where they are. And I'm limited to my lease down there. I can't go on private property. We can do public. And there's a lot of people hunt down there during the rut and stuff. So we try to get them early. Like last year, I shot mine October 26th. That was the earliest I ever shot a deer in Ohio. It was my biggest deer, matter of fact. He came into the scrape, into the minerals. Have the video. Go check it out. If you are interested in it, go do that. I used the Jinx some scents. Awesome scents. If you want to check them out, go over to my link in my description. Click on my link and use my code, and you'll get money off your order. So location for the mock scrape. You got to have doe in the area. You got to have deer in the area that frequent the area. You got to have doe in the area. Thanks, Chris, for whacking them. So after that, I do the vine. I use the Mystic Pre-Orbital on the vine. Last year, I was cupping my hand on the vine, and I would squirt this stuff in like the cup of my hand, and I was rubbing it on the vine with rubber gloves. Obviously, I always use rubber gloves. I always spray down. I use the Shield products, field spray, foam, all that stuff. I try to be scent-free. Use the rubber boots. I spray down. I go in there. I do that when I hang my cameras too. I don't want any humans, or at least want to minimize. You can never totally get rid of human scent, but you can minimize it the best of your ability. Okay, so, and that's what I recommend. Go in there. Don't go in there with your shorts on, tennis shoes, and run in there. I see people doing that all the time, and I am not a fan of people grabbing the branches and stuff with their bare hands. People say early in the summer you can get away with it because it has time to wash off and stuff, but they don't recommend you doing it during hunting season because you can spook a deer. I just don't want to spook deer anytime I'm in there, so I do it all the time. It can be summer, it can be winter, whatever. I'm still scent-free as possible. So I have my vine hanging over my spot. I bought a little rake at Home Depot. It's a little 8-inch rake, plastic, and has a long broom handle on it. That way I'm not bending down and having my hands in the scrape and all that. I use that, and I scrape away the debris of the scrape. You'll see that in the video. And then what I do is I dump the Misfortune, the synthetic in there, and I believe the synthetic lasts longer. But what I do, and you'll see, Dodge City Kid, just be upwind. Yeah, you got to hunt the wind no matter what. Wind isn't the most important thing in hunting. I don't care what anybody says. Hey, Ernie, thanks for coming in. But so what I'll do is I'll scrape the ground. And then what I do is I grab a bottle of water. This is iced tea, but I have a bottle of water with me always when I'm walking in the woods to drink. So what I do is I take a drink of it, and I wet the scrape down, okay? I moisten the scrape up because scent holds longer in moist soil. It doesn't, if it's dry, the scent will last a couple days and it'll be gone. When you have moist soil, it holds the scent longer. A lot of people say, oh, you got to go freshen your scrape after a rain. You don't really have to do that. The deer's not going to come over and refreshen it. He don't know it's coming over in the rain to do it. He wants to freshen his scrapes. That's kind of a myth. A lot of people, it was hit on a few times last year. I seen it where like a torrential downpour will rinse scent away off of your stand, off of your tree steps, off of the scrape. It will rinse that away if you have a torrential downpour. But if you have light rain and stuff, that sort of reignites that and keeps that scent in there. It actually reignites it and it holds the scent longer. So what I do is I dump water in my scrape. My scrape on Monday that I did was dry. We haven't had much rain around here. It was hard ground. So I scraped it up. I dumped the water in it, and then I scrape it again. I sort of, because if you dump water in one spot and let it sit, it sort of gets hard. So what I do is I dump the water in and I scrape it with the rake to like sort of fluffing it up a little bit, and then that will hold the scent longer. So then I spray. I don't use any of the Bewitched or the Ecstasy this time of year. I use it in November. I don't use it. Maybe Halloween week is when I start using the Bewitched, and then I'll start mixing in the Ecstasy in November to get it really fired up. They also have scent dabs. They're little beads. They last longer. I did order a hex stick from Jinx Some Scents. It's coming in with a drag on it. So I'll start dragging. I don't do that early in the season using drag rags or nothing. I never use a drag with the dominant buck. I always use a drag with estrus doe. I never use a drag. Or you can mix it, buck and doe, so it's like a buck is trailing a doe. You can do that to make it look more realistic. So I wet it. I sprinkle this is a 2-ounce bottle of Misfortune Dominant Buck. A deer pees anywhere from 3 to 8 ounces of pee in one sitting. You don't need your deer scent. You don't need to have 10 ounces of scent in each scrape. I use 1 ounce of the Dominant. I use half a bottle in my scrape when I set it up. And the synthetic scent seems to last longer than normal urine. Now, when I set up the scrapes, I use a synthetic. I get it going with that. I put it all in. And then in the middle of that scrape, those beads, I don't know if anybody's familiar with the like scented dirts and things that they have out there, that they infuse the scent in the dirt with like wax and things, and you pour that on your scrape. Well, what I do is I take that broomstick handle from my rake, and I stick it down in the scrape, in the middle of the scrape. So I put about a 3 or 4 inch hole in the middle of the scrape, about the size of a broomstick, and I take those scent beads and I dump them in that hole. Okay, along with I dump a few of the beads outside too to keep it going, because in the mornings, those scent beads, when they shrink up, when they lose their scent, when they shrink up, when you get moisture on them, they swell back up and they reignite again. So the scent dabs make it last a little longer. So check out the scent dabs at Jinxum Scent as well. Very good product. I also have a video from last year that I make my own. I don't call them scent dabs because I'm making my own, and I know that's Jinxum's, but I made my own beads last year out of the Jinxum Scents liquid. And you can, if you go to that video, you can use any liquid scent of your preference to make the beads. So go over and check that video out as well. So what I do is I pour them in the middle, and it fills that hole up, that broomstick hole, it fills them up with beads. So then I cover it with dirt, so it looks like a normal scrape, but that scent is in there at the bottom, and it's always permeating the scent out of that hole in the middle of the scrape. There's times where I'll go in there and all that hole will be dug up by a deer. Sometimes raccoons dig it up too, because they want to smell that and they get in there and they'll dig it up. So that hole contains them scent beads, and if it rains or anything and those scent beads sort of dehydrated, that hole collects the rainwater and it reignites those beads in that hole. So it keeps that scent fresher, keeps that scrape fresher longer. So that's what I do with that. And then I just leave and I put a camera on it. And that's all I did this Monday. And you'll see that Wednesday. If you guys look out for the premiere on Wednesday for that scrape video. And that's all I did down there by my stand. And I will do that again in Ohio. I don't take these two with me, the Bewitched or the Ecstasy. I take the Misfortune liquid synthetic. I take the Misfortune synthetic dabs, and I take the pre-orbital. I take the Mystic, the Misfortune, and the Misfortune dabs with me when I make my mock scrapes. And that's what I start them out with. That's all you need to start your mock scrapes. Obviously, you need little snips or something if you want to cut branches off. If you use an overhanging branch and stuff like that, you can, do that. But that's what I do. And it's as simple as that. Now, it's a little, like some people just go use their boot, scrape the dirt, put their scent on, and they leave. And if it works for you, it works for you. I just like to do it that way. In my head, it works for me. And I've seen results off of it. So that's why I bring that to you. So then I hang a camera on it, and that's what I did Monday. So we will see Sunday when I go over there. I'll pull my card, and I'll put a new card in it, and we will see how that is. My promotion for my project could be better. Yeah, everybody could be better at some point. Everybody can do a little better for sure. But thanks for the comment. I appreciate you. So that's what I do there. Now, when I go down to Ohio, I'll do the same thing. I'll make a scrape. Now, I won't use a vine down there because I don't think I have a vine in the area. I have a nice overhanging branch down there. And if you don't have an overhanging branch, you can cut a branch and hang it in the tree and make your own too. You know what I mean? You can do that as well. There is something that I do recommend when you're making a mock scrape is make sure the deer can move 360 around the vine or the overhanging branch. You don't want it backed up into like briars and things like that, because a deer don't like to be like touched when he's doing things. Believe it or not, a deer don't want to be in the jaggers. You don't want to be in the bushes when he's doing that. He wants free space around that area. So 360 around your hanging vine or your overhanging branch. You want area around it so that deer can move freely around your scrape. That'll make your scrape a little more enticing as well if you do it that way. So, but thanks coming in, Ernie. I appreciate you. So that's just one thing to keep in mind is when you're making scrapes, don't have it just one way in and one way out. Have it for 360 around. That deer can move freely around it, work that vine and move around. He don't want to be in the bushes. He don't want to be in the jaggers scraping. There's little briars that stick on you that are hard to get off. They don't want them on them either. We're speaking of mock scrapes, Mr. Blue. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I did harvest the deer on the walls, yes. I harvested them. I have more downstairs. Candy K, we're going to have an Indian summer or it's going to be a quick snap. We're getting ready for opening day up here in Montana, boys. That's awesome. Good luck, Candy K. Thank you for coming in. Please hit that like button if you haven't. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. We appreciate it. We're trying to grow to about 5,000. So, but that's the way I do my mock scrapes. I will go in more detail. We will get into more detail longer. I just wanted to do this short live with you guys for now, but we will be doing sort of studio style talks. I'll probably have harvested. That's where road finds were they harvested. These weren't road finds, were they? No, harvested, man. We don't say kill. We say harvested here. I think kill is a harsh word. You're harvesting an animal just like you're harvesting your tomatoes. You know what I mean? You got to go out and pick them and harvest them. So I use the word harvested when I'm taking an animal, because you are taking it from where it was living at. So I say harvest the animal, because kill is a little harsh in the deer woods. For me, anyway. There's a lot of people out there that say, I killed that buck. I say harvested, because we are given a license and an opportunity to go out there and take an animal. And I believe the right words are harvested the animal from the woods, just like you're harvesting corn or you're harvesting cucumbers. So that's why I say that. Nice. Good luck, Candy Cane. Thank you for the, I like that stance, Mr. Blue. Yeah, that's just my thoughts. But yeah, good luck to your Eleanor is old enough to get a tag. I'm taking her. Awesome. Yeah, it's awesome to hear when you're taking kids out, when especially their first year, they're so excited. They get out there, they can't sleep. Theo can sleep though. It's hard to get him up. My son, he definitely, you know, he's hard to get up in the morning. He'll go out in the evenings, but he's been getting better as he's getting older, and I think he's excited of hunting. So we'll see. Circle of Life, thank you for being in here. Appreciate you. Yeah, the racks are small for sure, right? They are. They're my trophies, though. Any trophy, any deer taken, any buck taken is a trophy in my eyes. Everybody's trophy is different. So, Circle of Life, if you think they're small racks, hey, you have your opinion. They're my best bucks that I've got. So, Theo is a teen. Heck, they are asleep. Yes, you are right. My daughter and son do sleep. But they are into sports heavy, and they are always out and playing sports and stuff. So, on the weekends when they sleep, it's hard to get them up because I know they've had a rough week with sports and school and everything. And Carly has all these honors classes, so she's got her hands full. So if they sleep, as a dad, I'm like, get up, get up, get up. But my wife's like, they've been working all week. They've been playing sports all week. Let them sleep. And for me, it's hard because I work all week. And when the weekend comes, I want to go out and play. So it's hard for me to be like, hey, Theo. And he's like, I'm tired. I'm like, all right. And I go do it. You know what I mean? But, yeah, they do a lot. That's awesome with the elk. I don't have an opportunity for elk here. In PA, you can pull a tag, but it's very slim to none in PA. But yeah, I would love to elk hunt with my bow. That would be a dream of mine, to go elk hunting with a bow, for sure. But yeah, I mean, I remember my first deer. I was 13, and I'm 51 right now. So I remember shooting my deer down at camp. I actually, my dad, we were down there, and I remember I had a Martin Firecat bow. I had my Loggy Bayou climber stand, and I went out in the morning and came in. We ate, and I fell asleep around 11 o'clock, and I wanted to be out in the woods by 4, and I slept until 5 o'clock, and I got up, and I hurried up and grabbed my stuff, and out of starters, pay like 200. Out of starters, pay like 200. Out of staters, pay like 200. Oh, okay. Maybe hook up with Steve from Wyoming. Yeah, he does hunt elk. I know that for sure. So what I did was I grabbed all my stuff and I ran up to this apple orchard, and I couldn't find a tree, and I found this little tree. I looked like Horton the elephant sitting in a tree. This thing was like this round. I put my climber in. I think I could reach the bottom of my stand. I was only up maybe 6 or 8 foot in this tree, and I'm sitting there probably sticking out like a sore thumb, and all of a sudden, like about an hour or two later, I'm sitting there and I hear a twig snap, and I look, and the 7-point come out, and he's walking and he's feeding on apples in front of me about 30 yards away. And I remember grabbing my bow, my heart, I could feel my heart pounding. Everything sort of went went into like tunnel vision, and he come walking out, and I went and I moved and I pulled my bow back, and he was taking a step, and he in mid step he stopped, and I seen him look out of the corner of his eye like to the right at me, and I let it go, and I don't know what happened. The deer just ran, and that was it, and I was excited. I got down, I ran out in the field, and I screamed to my dad, "Dad, I shot a big," and I swore because I was so excited. I said, "I shot a big," and then my dad come out, and he said, "Okay." So we walked over, we found the blood. We went down and we walked down the tree line and walking, and boom, he was there 100 yards away. He was laying there, and that was my first buck ever with a bow, and got him mounted. He's still mounted downstairs. So that's the buck that I have downstairs now, and these are all my bigger bucks up here. I'll take you here. Let's look at the bucks here for you. All right, so this is a PA buck here. That's my PA buck there. I shot that. My gram was still alive. I remember that buck like it was yesterday. You remember everything. That's a 9-point. And then Blades over here, that was another one that I shot over by my mom's house. It has some really nice brow tines. Some really thick brow tines. Really nice looking rack. That's Blades. Then this one right here is an Ohio buck. Right there, that's a big six. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a big 6-point, really wide 6-point. That one down there is a PA buck. This one here is a PA buck here. That has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points on that one. That's my 14-pointer. And then we have this one from Ohio. I shot this on the last year that they had metal tags. So that was kind of cool. I always wanted a deer from Ohio with the metal tag. We had to take it to the weigh-in station and stuff and get it you know, entered. And then this one is the one that I got last year right here, guys. That's the big boy. That's the 12-pointer right there. That's the one that come out to my scrape, and then he went in and made a rub and come out and chased that 4-point away. But you can see the little claw on his horn there. But that's my biggest one to date right there, guys. And I didn't get him scored yet. I haven't had him scored yet, so. All right. My twin sister and her family lived in a red lodge for like 10 years. I'm up by whitefish. Very cool. Very cool, guys. All right, well, I am going to go get ready for work today. It's Friday, so everybody have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. Get out there in the woods or get out there on the water if you can. I'm going to go grab something to eat and get ready for work. Tiny doe was like, I was 12, got into 35, into about 35 head aimed at the biggest buck and hit the doe, but in the butt instead, haha. Yeah, that's awesome, Candy. Yeah, it's awesome how you can remember every deer hunting with your animal. I can't remember yesterday, but all my deer, I know exactly what happened on every deer that's on the wall. I have a crossbow, Bruce. I use a crossbow in Ohio, and I use a crossbow here at times. My son uses a crossbow. I have bows. I shoot bows. I've shot bows for years. I have a diamond black ice bow. My son has another diamond little bow as well. I'm going to get into bow hunting a little more. I'd like to do the recurve. I really would. But thank you all for coming in. I'm going to end it because I got to get to work here. I start at 3, so I got to go get ready. But thank you all for coming in. I appreciate it. Make sure you're going over and checking out the contest that I'm running on my community page. All you got to do is send me a deer picture of your deer cams with the timestamp and date. It has to be from this year, and you're entered to win. We're going to pick 2. Me and the kids are going to pick 2 pictures that we like the best, and you're going to have a choice between a long sleeve or a short sleeve camo off the hook shirt. Go over and check out my store. Every purchase from in here helps the channel. If you'd like to donate to my channel, there are PayPal and Venmo in the description of my videos. Go check out all my partners and affiliates. Make sure you're using the codes. If you buy something from them, it'll save you money, and it'll let them know that you got it from me. So I appreciate all that. Go over and check out my free FishAngler invite link. You can post on with people that love to do what you do as well. My free invite link is on the description as well. Check me out on RUKU TV at Backroads Outdoors TV. I'm on that station, and I'm also on the American Angler Outdoors Network on TV, on the RUKU TV, Apple, all that good stuff. So I am on TV, so yay. That was kind of cool. But yeah, go check out all the links that are in my description. I spend a lot of time on my description, so you can check it out. My email is also in my description, so go check that out. I have playlists on there. Go hit the playlist of something you like. Go scroll through the videos and tap on them. I believe we have something for everybody. So, and that's it, guys. So have a great weekend. I got a lot of work to do this weekend in the deer woods. So, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. And like I always say, guys, take a kid fishing or hunting. We want to preserve our sport and pass it on to future generations. And we will see ya. Boom!